Explain like I'm 5. How do radio stations play songs? Do they have the license for every song? Are some songs cheaper? Do you just buy a huge license and some company distributes all that money? It's funny how radio stations do have a catalog of many thousands of songs, yet you still hear the same songs every day even if they play older music. 93.3 in Philadelphia right now is playing their whole catalog AZ, and there are so many songs that I have never heard them play. It gets me thinking, if you have this many songs, why do you only play the same stuff every day? Basically the latter. A few large performance rights organizations, ASCAP, BMI, SESAC, administer most song copyrights in the United States. Radio stations acquire a general license, aka blanket license, which allows them to play all the songs from a given copyright society. Larger networks pay more. Small radio stations pay less. The station reports back what songs it played, which the organization uses to determine royalties. Surprisingly, only the composer, songwriter, and publisher gets paid for the broadcast, not the performer. Fun fact: radio general licenses are significantly cheaper than streaming licenses. But radio can also be streamed. The legal difference to streaming is that you cannot choose the song you want, but only a radio station. That is why when using free Spotify you can only shuffle play from your playlists, and the playlists have to have a minimum number of songs on them. From a legal perspective, you create your own little streaming radio station. This is at least how it works where I live. I'm not sure it works the same way everywhere in the world. Even when I was at the mock college, radio station didn't actually have a radio transmitter. Just played over the ceiling speakers. We kept logs of what we played. I suspect this was training, but I'm not certain. It may have counted as public performance. The gym I went to played the radio or various CDs in its paying client spaces. It had a SOCAN, the Canadian Music Licensing Organization, sticker on the door. So they must have had some sort of license. Even some borrowed videos from the library have markings allowing public performance. The rest are private home use only. Hard FM have a catalog of about 6 songs. 5 of them are Ed Sheeran and 1 Taylor Swift, I swear. You do have big licenses that allow the radio stations and other public performances play any song in the catalog for a flat fee. The only requirement is that the radio station keeps a record of which songs they have played so that the record companies can split the profits among the artists correctly. So radio stations have players which generate this statistics automatically. So it is not something the DJs have to deal with. Like TV, a lot of stations use Nielsen SoundScan, and they basically buy per play at a contracted rate. My father-in-law used to be a radio broadcaster. He worked for many years here in Detroit. He only played what was given to him. Record labels and other organizations had the entire day's playlist worked out. Occasionally they would play other songs per request, but very rarely. He always wanted to do his own jazz show where he could play his own music, but it was only able to during the late night hours. This was all from around 1980, mid-2000s. Public performance royalties flow from broadcasters to artists through dedicated administration bodies, known as pros. Yes, they have special licenses. A lot of regions have their own system. Same thing with live DJs on venues. Usually that license is with a record label or group of record labels that give a list of songs that they can use, and every use they get a fee. We have an amazing pirate radio station in our town which has no ads and very little talking. No top 40 bullshit except maybe stuff from a while ago. Hip-hop, electronica, reggae, soul, blues, etc. Yes, they buy licenses to certain songs. usually in bulk with packages offered by record companies. Radio stations are still around? With the power of live assist and automation, digital aired logs can be sent to the royalty companies with an exact list of every song aired. Years ago, it was all written down and cumbersome to handle. A blanket license in the US from ASCAP and BMI covers most, if not all, situations. If Joe Schmo wants to start an internet radio station, they have another company that handles licensing with smaller fees. Somehow SiriusXM screwed this up and passes the entire music royalty fee to all of its subscribers. It sucks. How much does it cost to broadcast a particular song one time? Freebird, for example. This may be just one subscription system among many, but it's the one I know about. A long time ago, you can apply and pay for a subscription service where every month they send you a CD of the genre of music for your radio station or club or whatever you are DJing for. So if I owned a club and wanted to play country music, I can get a monthly CD of the top 40 of country songs, dance, alt-rock, hip-hop, contemporary Christian, whatever. It was called promo only and it was limited to industry professionals. Don't even dare to try to pirate it. How dishonorable would you download a car? At least when I was doing internet radio stuff, you could get a collective license from ASCAP that was based on your listenership size. More people that listen, the more you paid. Yes, the songs played on legitimate radio stations are licensed. The radio stations pay the record labels. This is made easier considering a lot of individual radio stations are actually owned by major media companies.